This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, leading the league in podcasting entertainment.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. This is the Fast Break Podcast. I'm your host, Sean Anderson. Alongside me, as always, is Ricky Widmer.
What's up, guys?
And Dave Oster.
Hey, everybody.
And today we have a great podcast episode for you. We're going to be talking about the Anthony Davis trade. Boy wants out. We're talking about where the boy going to go. We're going to talk about the New York Knicks. We're going to talk about the Los Angeles Lakers. We're going to talk about the Boston Celtics. We're going to talk about Real Madrid. Probably not. Then we're going to talk about the Philadelphia 76ers with our boy Jake. We missed him in April, so he's getting his second May Patreon topic. If you want to be like Jake, and this is a perfect segue, check out patreon.com/MosoPodcast. We have a bronze tier where you can join our Discord and get early access to podcasts. We have a silver tier where you get all that stuff from the bronze tier, and you can throw out topics for any podcast that you want on a monthly basis. And then finally, at the gold tier, you could be like Jake and be on a podcast and talk about what you like to talk about. We're going to talk about, with Jake, what the direction for the Sixers will be now that they have, not that they've officially brought back Brett Brown as their head coach. So we'll talk about that. And then finally, we'll wrap it up with something that has been long promised, long awaited. ATL is finally getting their best fit video. We finally know that they'll be picking 8 and 10. They got screwed by the lottery, so we'll talk about them for their fans. So shout out to the ATL, shout out to Hawks fans. Y'all have been waiting for a very long time, so we're glad to finally give that to you. But again, check out patreon.com/MosoPodcast. Supporting us would mean the world to us. We'd absolutely love it if you checked out that page and gave to us. We're trying to create the best content for you, and giving to us on patreon.com/MosoPodcast makes that possible. But boys, let's jump into the AD trade. We talked about it a little bit with our live stream for the draft lottery. We touched on it a little bit, but let's get into it now. Officially, Shams reported that AD is not going to consider coming back. David Griffin wants to talk to him still, but most likely it sounds like AD is going to get traded. So where will he be traded to, and what likely will be the package that he'll be traded for?
Well, the thing I want to talk about first is the whole, and this happened recently, where apparently the Pelicans owner was like, so Jackie Mack was basically like, she says, we've been told, I think through channels, most of us have heard this same scuttlebutt, that basically he would not trade Anthony Davis to the Lakers over my dead body. Apparently, the Pelicans are now double backing on this, where it's like, no, I didn't say that. We're totally going to trade him to the Lakers, to where I'm like, you calling Jackie Mack a liar? Because Jackie Mack don't lie, Dave. That's what I know. I think he's going to be a Knick. Like, to me, yes, we talked about after the lottery, the three teams, Lakers, Celtics, and the Knicks. I think the Knicks are going to be his destination, and that they're going to pair him with Kyrie, with Kevin Durant. And I think with the Pelicans, the thing that this turns into that I really like is you can then get that number 3 pick and have a potential Zion RJ reunion in New Orleans.
And to get more information on that Zion RJ reunion, you could check out the PTP with Sean and I this week.
Look at you. You're a goddamn host. But yeah, we did talk about RJ and Zion possibly filling up, but we came to the conclusion that we kind of want to see these guys on their own.
Yeah, I think it would be a little bit special. We get to see a little bit more out of each one of them, spreading their wings and growing metaphorically.
I'll spread my wings and I'll learn how to fly.
I think
beautiful voice, Sean.
Thanks.
The thing that I'm thinking is there's already a little bit of turmoil of like, of course Zion is not going to do what I want him to do. Like, I'll be completely honest. What the herd mapped out, I wish that Zion would be like, sure, I'll do that. I'm going to pull
back
out.
to...
No. Pull out of the draft, call Popovich and say, I'm going to play. Can I play for USA Basketball? And just play for USA Basketball. Still get the Nike endorsement, get to play with pros, don't have to go back to college, and can work with a class coach like Greg Popovich. That's what I would love him to do. He ain't going to do that, though. He's going to stay in the draft, and he's going to be a Pelican. And
that's so terrible.
No. But I'm saying, like, for the Pelicans, if anything to ease him, because we all saw his face when the Pelicans got number 1. It was like Oh fuck! I'm going to.
I did not see that at all.
I totally.
No,
he did not look.
He was like jumping up and down. He seemed giddy. Like he seemed excited watching it. Like it just seemed like the lottery.
He just seemed
thing.
like a big kid.
Like there's a side angle of him that
There was
looked,
a little bit of disappointment.
I did not see that at all. I think
Yeah.
you're reading way too much into it. The dude's about to make $100 million from Nike on a shoe deal. Like it doesn't matter. Like
Those shoes gonna be so good.
And some people are like, oh, he's missing out on so many sponsorships because he's not gonna be in New York and LA, which is probably true, but also. This kid's got a ton of following already. This guy is going to make a ton of money. LeBron James has a lifetime shoe deal from Nike, and he played in Cleveland. And Cleveland was nothing before he came there. So I mean, I'm just saying, like basketball wise, they were nothing. Basketball wise, they were
disrespect to insert Cleveland player here.
Elo.
Elo. The thing I'm going to get back to though, because that's not the point I was trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is
Anthony Davis.
If you are trying to get him to feel comfortable. You make the trade to me with the Knicks to bring in someone who can also make him and help him feel comfortable in a situation he might not want to be in. But that's also because with the Anthony Davis thing, I think the Knicks have a better package than the Lakers.
Why?
Because with me, I personally, if I am the Pelicans, I do not want Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, and Kyle Kuzma. Like, to me, it's like...
And the number 4 pick?
If it's not working for you... Why would I want that in New Orleans?
It's not working for them because they got LeBron James and they're playing a different offense around LeBron James. And their timeline is to win a championship with LeBron James.
Did they look that much better without LeBron James? Because we've seen them with
the year before.
And without.
I mean, to be fair, they won almost the same amount of games last year.
Ingram also got hurt as well. So
Ingram was hurt.
They were out with
Lonzo was hurt.
Out with Ingram and out with Lonzo.
So
too.
I want two guys
Alex
with injuries.
Caruso.
Yeah, I want 2 guys with injury history.
Okay,
that's what I'm saying.
But the potential's higher with Ingram than it is Kevin Knox. And, right now, I mean, you don't know if you're going to get Mitchell Robinson, but even then, Mitchell Robinson's still a limited player. Fantastic defensive player, really aggressive player, and really proved himself to be good. But, I mean, he's nowhere to the level that Brandon Ingram can be. And, Kevin Knox, I think he's just a worse version of Brandon Ingram, and he's not as good as a passer. He's not as good as a driver. I mean, not as good as a shooter. Kevin Knox is really great driving. But even then, like you look at, Lonzo Ball versus Frank Ntilikina, Lonzo Ball wins that, clearly. So, I mean, I think the Lakers clearly have the better package. The only thing the Knicks have is the third against the fourth.
Yeah,
well, and that's it.
They also have the future picks because the Knicks have the advantage of having those Mavs picks they can toss in. So, and I feel like at this point, that whole Lakers shit show that came out about, we'll never, over my dead body will we make a trade with the Lakers. Like, I think they're in damage control now, trying to keep the value up because they can leverage the Lakers' pile of players and prospects that they're going to offer versus a team like the Knicks and versus a team like the Celtics, should they still want to go after him. So I think that's what they're just trying to keep the value there. I think the Knicks are very likely now. I know we talked about this before, and I was like, I think the Lakers have a good chance. And now I'm like, I think the Lakers are no longer like when she said over my dead body. Old people don't say that unless they mean it, and I believe her when she says that. So
but stuff just came out today that's not even true. Like I'm
not going to call Jackie Mack a lie. If I hear from the mouth of Jackie Mack,
I'm not calling Jackie McMullen a liar.
I know.
I just think that I think that there's so much shit that was flying around. I don't know what to believe. I'm not saying Jackie Mack was getting information that was wrong. I'm not saying that people who reported stuff early on in the season was wrong. I'm just saying that people's mind could change, and I don't know what the stance is.
But they have a tumultuous relationship already because of that whole mid-season, my agent's going to come out and say something.
That's true.
So bridges have been burnt a bit.
But you now got Zion, and if you're trying to rebuild those bridges and make a deal that's going to work out for both sides, things can get repaired.
I don't know if I want Ingram with Zion. I'll be honest, and I know I've been a big guy with Ingram.
That's
I love
fair,
him,
but I'm just saying I think those bridges can be repaired. Why don't you like that fit?
I think both guys are probably going to work really. We know Ingram works really well with the ball in his hands. He drives well. He does the pull up shots. He's got good agility. It's just a matter of he's not a great off ball player. He's not a great catch and shoot 3-point guy. So. Yes, defensively, he's got the length. He's got amazing hands, always reaching, always gripping for the ball. It's awesome. But I think offensively, he has to be sort of a centerpiece on a team. And I look at Zion, and I'm like, no, that guy is a centerpiece. That is how you can use someone, as just an absolute monster. I want his usage to be through the roof. I want the ball going through him on the offense. I don't want to have him be, even as option one, I would prefer the ball in his hands when he even brings up the court some of the times when you don't have your primary point guard on the court. And I think that's very much Brandon Ingram. They have similar roles to how they best succeed in my mind. So I think there's just a lot of overlap there. I would love to see hit. Honestly, I think like the Lonzo Ball thing would be cool. I think Kuz would be a great fit on that team. I don't know if the value is there without BI though. So I look at the Knicks and I look at the Celtics again. And the Celtics obviously with the Kyrie whatever's going on and Terry coming out and basically saying F you guys, I'm leaving. I don't know if they still want him. I don't know if they still are going to take a stab on AD with 1 year of contract guaranteed and the hopes to re-sign him. You've got an older Al Horford who at the end was getting a little tired. He's still a pretty good player, but basically how much can you keep in stock while getting Anthony Davis on the team and expect to make a run in the East where, yes, we don't know what the Raptors will look like next year. We don't know what the Sixers will look like next year. We got a pretty good idea what the Bucks, who right now are about to be up 2-0 on the Raptors, are going to be.
Dave calling that, like, I think it's well into the third, and Dave's like, I'm just going to call it while we're recording.
It's over. Now watch, they make a comeback.
But they might make a comeback in the series. I think you bring up an interesting point about Ingram. However, is he just going to be only... I mean, because he is still young.
Oh, he's super young, yeah.
Is he only going to be a guy that works with the ball in his hands? Because obviously we talked about it with him playing off Zion, but I also think we saw it. I think him and RJ Barrett are somewhat similar, and we saw that work at Duke. I think that obviously Brandon Ingram with the ball in his hands is better, like RJ Barrett is. But I still think that he could be a decent 3-point shooter off ball. I still, his percentages aren't too off from what they were last year. He played less games, so the percentages are actually worse. But he was 41 of 105 in his sophomore year, and then he was 31 of 94. So it was like 39 compared to 33. But the actual difference wasn't that much.
Right.
He made 10 less, but also shot 11 less. So it's like, it's kind of cutting hair there.
Right, but it's a situation of how many of those were catch and shoot and how many of those were a dribble up.
Yeah, my thing is I still think that he can be a guy that can still be effective and still grow because he's only 21 right now.
Yeah,
and he's going to be 22 September 2nd.
Yeah,
so I think
Jason Tatum's like 14. Counterpoint.
Tatum's going to be 21, isn't he?
I'm.
Yeah, I know. You're
too much time on Reddit.
He just turned 21. So I mean they're both similar. And why do you like Tatum compared to Ingram more next to Zion?
I think Tatum's just a very prototypical wing in the NBA today, where I see what Ingram can be, but it feels too ball dominant. Where Tatum, I feel like ball in his hands, he's deadly, but we've also seen him in smaller roles succeed, being able to be a great catch and shoot player. When it's team focused basketball, he was able to succeed last year in the playoffs. This year, obviously disappointing in the playoffs, but regular season, he was still pretty good when he had the time to shine. It's just they were so buried in wing depth, and they didn't really have enough to go around to feed all those mouths. You're trying to keep players' egos fed, and obviously Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are the two lowest guys on the totem pole, even though they're your future stars perhaps. I just think that Jason Tatum as the number 2 to Zion Williamson, that pairing gets me excited.
But I don't know if they're going to be able to give enough outside of Tatum. And I think the difference between Tatum and Ingram isn't enough for me to be like, all right, well, let's write off the Lonzo Ball thing.
Well, is it draft picks this year? They've got, 3 first-rounders?
Yes, 14, 20, and 22. Yes, because I think they're right behind OKC, too.
Surprisingly, I don't have Tankathon up for the first time.
Yeah, because I think Utah's 23, Philly's 24.
5
25 is...
it is 22.
Yeah.
Boston, yeah.
But the thing that I want to bring up is, after playing 35 games with LeBron, Ingram started to find a consistent rhythm. And in the last 17 games before he was out, 22.5 points, 3.1 assists, 5.5 rebounds, 40% from 3. And it was only on 2 a game, but... I think that if he's next to Zion, the biggest thing that can change for him is he doesn't have to fit in a role. that was something that, when he's playing next to Lonzo Ball, he has to be a spot-up shooter because Lonzo's going to control the offense consistently, and he's going to be able to dribble in and dish out to Ingram, and Ingram's going to be a spot-up shooter. And obviously that changed, later on in the season when we saw point guard Ingram, and he changed and we saw this development. And then right away it was just going right back to it because, now LeBron's there. I think Ingram in New Orleans, Zion isn't that type of player that needs the ball in his hands and he's going to be a distributor. He might clog up the lane, which I won't like for Ingram, but I also think Ingram in the mid-range is pretty damn deadly. And I think if Ingram starts growing that confidence and being like, well, I can just attack any place on the floor that I want, then that's going to be huge for him too. And we already know that Zion's an offensive rebound machine.
He is.
So I kind of like that Ingram fit more than Tatum because Tatum, yes, he's going to get his own shot. He can be his own person. And Jason Tatum's one of the smoothest kids out there.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, he's got such a smooth, clean finish and polish to his game.
Yep.
I just think that Ingram's intrigue is so much more than Tatum because I think Tatum is kind of developed already. I mean, Tatum's always going to be more, he can always grow his efficiency, he can always grow, his strength and stuff like that, but I think we've kind of seen the bag of tricks from Jason Tatum, and I don't really know what else he can add to his game.
Off season. I think you're selling short on his development.
I think he has a very mature game is what I'm saying.
Okay.
I don't know what else he can add to become more dangerous. Like, yes, he can become more efficient, so he's going to be, he could bump up his points to like 25 a night on decent efficiency. But I don't know if he's really going to be able to develop this game
some additional
to like
mid-range moves.
Exactly. Like, I don't know what else he can
slash and finish at the hoop.
He can really add.
Yeah.
Where Ingram, he can become, and I know this is the pre-draft comparison.
Say it.
He can become Kevin Durant. You see, he can become it just because 6'9", 7'3" wingspan.
Durant.
But I think the shot's still there. I think he could still develop that shot because we've seen the stroke is there.
Yeah, the difference is Kevin Durant had the shot like at 15.
Kevin Durant, Kevin Durant's different.
The greatest shooter.
He was just skinny.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, without a doubt, and we can mean Brandon Ingram's bone.
Yep.
I just think that if he gets an offseason where he puts it all into working on a shot, I think the form's there. I think he's got a quick release. It's all there. I think he just needs to keep working on it, and it could really develop. It's not KD level because obviously, again, like you're 100% right. KD stepped in, had an NBA shot right away. I just think that he can really develop and take it to the next level. It's kind of like what Jake was saying. We were kind of judging guys too early. He's about to be 22, and I think that he could take those next steps to be an all-around 3-level scorer especially with his length, because that's something Tatum doesn't have. Is that 7'3" wingspan, that 6'9" size too.
Yeah.
Like Ingram is
silly.
very, very long.
The one thing I will say, and I had this thought today, and this is actually in favor of the Laker deal. This is the only positive I can think of from the Lakers offer, is that I don't have to trust David Griffin with draft picks. And you might sit there and go, trust David Griffin like Ricky. He's like built teams.
What's up?
This is what I was looking at. So during his time at the Cavaliers, these were his draft picks. The first one was Kyrie Irving. Pretty fucking hard to mess that one up. Because the whole thing I keep hearing is he's so lucky. He's gotten how many lotteries has he won in 5 years?
To be fair, Kyrie was the guy who only played in a couple games.
But I mean, out of that draft class, Kyrie was the number one pick. It was
sort of
hard
electric.
to screw that up.
Sort of electric.
The next year, one they lost. They were at 4th overall. Took Deion Waiters. So I mean, not the worst pick, but also when you do look at what's after. Damian Lillard was in that draft at 6.
No one's going to take Damian Lillard after you take Kyrie Irving.
I know.
Do that
they already had Kyrie Irving. But then the next one is the big one. Instead of taking Victor Oladipo, he takes Anthony Bennett. And then I get that the Andrew Wiggins one was they took Andrew Wiggins because LeBron was coming back. They traded him for Kevin Love. And then basically every other draft pick was out of the lottery because LeBron was on that team. And I look at that and I go, mainly it's the ones of like, I'm not saying they should have drafted Damian Lillard, but also I look at that Anthony Bennett one and I go, so out of the lotteries that David Griffin has won, really there was only that Kyrie Irving one that was kind of like the main one. So like there's a little bit of, is this the same thing with the Pelicans? Is this the same thing repeating himself? David Griffin comes in, he gets the can't-miss guy at number 1, Zion Williamson. And the Pelicans are going to be in the lottery again next year. I get that, but it's like you get like they're going to be in the lottery next year. Is he going to hit if they're not number 1? They're not getting that main guy. The thing I think is how this is going to play out.
You think they're going to be in the lottery next year?
I think so. I think the Pelicans are totally going to be in the lottery next year because Anthony Davis ain't going to play a game. Zion will be good.
Yeah, but they're going to trade him to get assets.
I still don't
Zion.
think they make the playoffs in the West.
So...
Yeah, I don't think they make the playoffs.
Young talent that has just played with LeBron, technically, if you're going with the Lakers, right? And if not, you're going to the Knicks and you're getting R.J. Barrett, who's pretty fucking good.
That team without LeBron didn't make the playoffs in the first place.
Go to the playoffs?
What are you talking about?
The
year before LeBron came?
Yeah.
If LeBron didn't come, that team was about to be a playoff team. That's what I was saying before that.
Yeah,
I was super high on that Lakers team. So you're not going to convince me that team wasn't going to be a playoff
healthy.
team.
Like, I mean, that's another thing, too, is their health. They all got to be on the court at the same time.
Of course, but talent-wise, they can be a playoff team.
Here's what I think is going to happen in this ultimate scheme of the Anthony Davis trade is, first to go back to the comments, because the one thing I was going to say that I didn't is I don't think it's like, oh, Jackie Mac's a liar. It's like, oh, I don't think that this over here. Here's what I think that whole situation was, where it's basically, I'm going to say this comment, not thinking it's going to get out. Oh, shit, it got out. Now I have to play damage control. How I think everything is going to go because of everything we have on the table. The Lakers are probably going to sit there, and it's going to be the Knicks that press hard first. They get Kevin Durant. They get Kyrie Irving. They really need to get the third piece in Anthony Davis. You also have Boston, who with Kyrie gone, they might bring Scary Terry back. So it's like, hey, you'll be starting now because Kyrie's not going to be there. But at the same time, are they going to want to make that move, give away young talent? I think that the Celtics don't make that move. They stick with the young talent. We go with the draft picks because we were we were a better team without Kyrie Irving. We're going to go and just double down and go with our draft picks. I think what's going to happen is the Pelicans are not going to want to trade them to the Lakers, and there's a surprise team that could levy their way into it that also has draft picks who could also be getting Kawhi Leonard. Don't sleep on the LA Clippers. If they get Kawhi Leonard and they look at it and go, hey, we got young talent that we got from that Philly deal when we traded Toby, and we've got draft capital to pair Anthony Davis.
Who do they have of the level of Brandon Ingram or Jason Tatum to entice that deal?
So it's not the players that they have aren't the same level. With that, it's the draft capital.
Don't bring up the 2020 Heat pick.
No, it could be anything. They've got their own pick. They've got the Heat pick. They've got a Philly pick. And I know that the Philly pick is like, ooh, it's a playoff pick. But yes, that Heat pick is the one that's most coveted.
Their pick right now is a playoff pick.
Yeah.
And then the Heat pick is 2021, where this team might not even, it's a chance that it might be the high school draft, and it's a chance that it might be in the lottery. Like, I think it's the most overblown draft pick in ages. Like, that's not a for sure. Like, the Nets were kind of a for sure after they played like 10 games that season. I don't know about this. Like, the Clippers, that's not enticing me if I'm the Pelicans. Well, you cannot give me the value that I need for Anthony Davis.
At the end of the day, I think it's going to come down to two things. I am going to take although the word is, hey, I didn't mean to say that, I'm sitting there going, yeah, you fucking did. That's what I'm looking at it. I'm kind of trying to see through that bullshit. I think at the end of the day, it's the Knicks, the Celtics, and if the Clippers want to get involved, I think the Celtics pull their name out because they're just like, you know what? We're not going to do this. We are not going to make this rash of a decision. In the end, it'll be Knicks and Clippers, and then it's basically which pick do we want, the Dallas pick or the Miami pick? That's what it's going to come down to.
I think that ultimately it's going to just come down to the Lakers, and if the Pelicans want to make that deal, I think that they're going to be able to offer the best. I mean,
they could settle. Like, that would be settling in my mind.
I think it's going to come down to the Knicks or the Lakers. I think Boston's immediately out of it because I think the Pelicans are going to want to make that deal as soon as possible. Mm-hmm. I don't think they're going to want to wait until July 1st to make that deal. I mean, wouldn't you want to rush? Wouldn't you want to get the young players in immediately to then start?
You don't get to work them out.
What do you mean?
Like, I don't understand. Like, it's not like you can you can watch Summer League, big deal. Like it's. I don't understand.
You can at least have the basis of your roster. You can know these guys, who these guys are playing with. Especially if you're getting like an RJ Barrett in this deal. That way, these guys are playing together. They can still work together and build a.
Unless Danny Ainge calls them up and goes, "Hey, I'm picking here. Who would you want? I'll pick them for you."
I think there's a handshake deal in place. Maybe that I could definitely see, but
I think
I don't see the rush.
I think that going out. When would you think to trade him then?
I think when you get the right offer. It's just like once you hit your check mark, I'm sure they've got a line in the sand for each team. Like it would take this from your team.
Yeah.
Say you were the Bulls, it would take this. You were the Cavs, it would take this. And that's all it is. Is there? I'm sure as a GM, he's going in there, and David Griffin's going, all right, where's our line in the sand for each of these teams, and where are we okay with moving? And we can have some wiggle room, obviously, but like that's what I expect him to be doing as a GM is understand. All right, we're going to field calls from everybody for the next month. And it's not like I'm going to say no to everybody, but unless I hear the right, give me an offer that blows me away, then I'll say, yeah, sure, we move forward. But I don't think they're not under any reasoning they have to move forward with a trade on Anthony Davis. They hold all the power in this situation. Anthony Davis isn't doing shit for the rest of the summer anyway. Now they're they. Like you don't win and lose the offseason by rushing into a trade, in my mind. Also, to support Griffin a little bit, he also did a good job as far as managing that roster around with the amount of guys in and out of that team and that locker room. They made a lot of moves to make sure they had support staff for LeBron going forward. So not just the draft picks you want to take a shot at him. He's done.
Managing LeBron is something that is very difficult.
And the support staff to LeBron.
Yeah. Well, because if LeBron's not happy, your team's not going anywhere.
Exactly. LeBron's like, get me 17 new players. He's like, fine, I'll do it. And he did. Like, what more do you want from a guy? Yeah, long term, the Cavs are going to pay the repercussions, but guess what? They got a ring. None of that shit matters.
And now the Lakers are going through that same thing of what happens when you have LeBron. But to go off of your point, Dave, and that's why I kind of I threw out the Clippers, is, Sean, you were like, well, when's this deal going to get done? I'm kind of sitting there and I'm agreeing with Dave. When that right deal comes, and I don't think we get that this offseason.
Do you think we're going to hit regular season?
No way.
I think I'm not saying like 95. I'm sitting there and I would not be surprised if Anthony Davis is still a Pelican at the beginning of the year. And the reason why I say that is the thing that I look at if I'm the Pelicans is I don't want to mess this up. You can't mess this up. Like, you got to get the package that you are 100% happy in. If you have any doubt, you're not going to pull that trigger. Okay. And that's what I think. And that's why I bring up.
And here's why it's going to get done. Lakers aren't going to fuck around because you want to make LeBron happy and you want to be able to then go after Kyrie Irving in free agency. Knicks aren't going to fuck around because you want to get those three, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and Anthony Davis. You want to be able to secure those free agents immediately. And Boston's not going to fuck around because they got to get Anthony Davis at least in or at least agreed to so then they can re-sign Kyrie Irving if they do want to go after that game plan.
That one they're stuck waiting. It's that's the handshake deal in principle.
But you still want to be able to go to Kyrie on July 1st and say, hey, I understand things did not work out here, but we're going to try to make the best to where you're not playing alone, you're playing with veterans, and you're playing with a guy in Anthony Davis who you want to. And Boston, while it didn't work out here, at least last year, we're going to move away from Terry Rozier, guys that you had conflicts with, in the locker room, and we think you can be such a massive piece to this franchise that we're going to keep you, Kyrie Irving, as a centerpiece, and Anthony Davis, and we'll team you up so you don't have to deal with these young guys. You could play basketball with your friends.
And Kyrie's going to go, that's great, but I already got this blue on. This blue looks really good. This blue and orange.
Why would he go there if he has Anthony Davis?
Or
he can take more money.
Because Kevin Durant.
I'm sorry, the purple and gold.
He could take more money and play with Anthony Davis.
I mean, I'll take Kevin Durant over Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis is younger.
Kevin Durant's better.
Anthony Davis is younger.
Kevin Durant's way better.
It's not way better.
Yeah.
One's a top 7 player, one's a top 2 player, and one's also older and going to be 35 at the end of the contract, and the other one's going to be 30.
Yeah, I'll take Kevin Durant.
I'll take Anthony Davis.
I'm winning rings with Kevin Durant. I'm not winning rings with AD.
I would take Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving for the next 5 years, and Kyrie Irving, KD.
I'm going to say there's a better chance of winning a ring.
Like, if you're talking about the Celtics, like, you're still sitting on Al Horford and Gordon Hayward.
Horford's gone at the year. at the end of the year.
No, I'm saying like this year, I would say they have a way better chance of winning a championship than the Knicks would.
Smart's
with
coming back too.
Yeah, with just Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving,
Mitchell Robinson,
and Lonzo Trier and Dotson.
And the thing to go back to what you were saying,
no Ron Baker.
That's how
Who's
you lose.
taking the shots? God damn it!
Who is making the shots?
Because you make a good point. Like all the other teams, the Knicks, the Lakers, they're gonna want to press to get it done. But who holds the power in this? The Pelicans. If they don't want to make the deal, they're not going to make the deal.
Okay, but you're saying that they're not going to get their offer. The Lakers are going to be panicked to make the offer, and they're going to not fuck around and make the offer.
Yet again,
the Knicks
like
aren't
I'm
going to fuck
saying,
around and they're going to make the offer.
This is a me personal of how I'm looking into it. I don't think a deal gets done with the Lakers. I believe the words that I hear of like, there's a reason you said it. Because you believe, like Dave said, old people say what they mean.
Ricky, I'm a guy over here that has lost a car, that has painted his face, that has lost his house.
You're going to wear a Knicks jersey.
You had the inkling that the Pelicans were going to get the number 1 pick. I have been wrong so many times.
Yep.
I am just saying my piece. You're saying your piece. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying you're wrong.
And that's where...
I just think I would find it hard that by July 1st, we don't have a clearer idea of where Anthony Davis is going to go because teams need to make free agent pushes.
And the thing that I was looking at, Dave, before you give your wild card bitches, is if it goes into the regular season and these wild cards come out, the only teams I looked at was who's got extra draft capital. And these are the teams that do. Not saying that they're all going to trade for him.
Yeah,
there's only 3. The Hawks, the Bucks, the Clippers. And 2 of those, I don't think... Like, the Hawks, it's not in the timeline. I don't think
100%. John Collins, 2 first-round picks this year. And I had prepped this because that was my wild card pick.
Yeah, because I kind of love
it. Think about it. You knew John Collins is a perfect trade-off piece. I love John Collins. He's a fucking hype monster. But at the same time, Anthony Davis, guys. Anthony Davis, Trae Young, Kevin Huerter, the 44-year-old... Vince Carter locking it down at the 3.
Which pick
I'm putting both.
Both of them? Okay.
Both this year. More next year. You get this done. Are you kidding me?
Is the Cleveland pick involved?
That's a 4 seed in the East next year. No joke.
What's your give me that starting roster though next year?
Trae Young, Kevin Huerter, Vince Carter.
No, Taurean Prince.
Vince Carter.
Taurean Prince.
Who got minutes when the games counted? Vince Carter.
Taurean Prince.
Anthony Davis, Dwayne Dedmon. Like, that roster is going to the playoffs in the East. You can't tell me it's not.
Jesus Christ. I love it. Could you imagine these Hawks fans that are like all bummed out that they have like the 8th and the 10th and it's like, oh yeah, we're getting Anthony Davis.
You're about to get a segment talking about the Hawks later.
Yeah.
You don't even want it now. Yeah. You just want to hear about Anthony Davis on the Hawks playing with Trae Young. Can you imagine the pick and roll?
I would love
pick and pop.
I would love if Anthony. Could you imagine the Pelicans if they? Because that would be a complete like, you know what? Fuck you. To both AD and to all the teams that wanted to trade for him.
I think Anthony Davis would love the ATL.
And you know who we're not talking about? We're not talking about Zion and RJ playing together. We're talking about Zion and Cam playing together, baby. The team's getting back together, baby.
Also.
And you're getting Goga.
Also.
Goga.
Look at the Hawks as a sneaky, attractive option for free agents. They've got money to spend this offseason. We're not just talking about Anthony Davis coming. We could go ahead and sink like a Klay Thompson.
Ooh.
Anthony Davis, Klay Thompson. I guess I would put Vince Carter on the bench then, but stubbornly.
So you got Trae, Klay, Huerter.
Yeah.
Trae and Klay?
Trae, Klay, Huerter. I mean, that's Anthony Davis and Dwayne Dedmon. They could go after a Boogie.
I'm sorry, Steph, but Trae and Clay's got a better ring.
They could reunite Boogie and AD.
Dave, I fucking love it.
I'm going to go home and play 2K.
We're ending this segment. We can't beat this. This is the greatest thing. Hawks, trade for Anthony Davis.
You're welcome.
It is the best damn thing in the world. Yeah, trade for Anthony Davis. That'd be fun as fuck.
Yeah, because the only other team that's got draft capital is the Bucks, and I don't think Giannis and AD are not going to work together.
My wild card's the Cleveland Cavaliers because fuck that come out of nowhere.
Yeah, because a package of Kevin Love and Tristan Thompson's really going to get them going.
And picks. And JR.
JR.
Keep the soup away.
Mm-hmm. Now, it would be the gumbo in New Orleans.
I think the wildest card would be Minnesota, and it's Wiggins, AD, and future picks.
Oh God.
Yeah, horrible.
So many future picks.
Yeah, it'd be so bad. All right,
just keep them away from Chicago.
Who?
He doesn't want to come to Chicago. That's
I
the
know.
funny
Why do you
thing
want
about
to
it.
keep him away from Chicago?
Because
he'd be the biggest
that would-
superstar since Michael Jordan.
Yeah, but that would set us back. We're
How?
not on that timeline.
How would it set us back?
We're not on that timeline.
I said
Sean.
us. That's how pissed off
Yeah.
I am. How would it set it back?
We are not going to win a championship with AD. We'll go to the playoffs.
You know what's going to help you more win a championship? Getting AD than not having AD.
Yeah, but we'd have to give up too much to get him.
What?
So
What would you have to give up? Markkanen?
yeah, like pretty much
the
our
seven?
entire young talent and picks.
You're Markkanen?
Yeah,
The 7th.
yeah.
You might have to give up Otto to match contracts.
Otto.
Probably another young piece, maybe like a Wendell.
Probably a future first.
Yeah, but like, because think about your Laker offer of Lonzo, Ingram, and Kuzma.
I don't think they're actually going to do that. I think it's going to be 2 players.
I think it's probably 2.
Even if it's Lonzo and Ingram.
I think it's Ingram, Lonzo, and the 4th. Because I mean, we have to look at the Kawhi trade. Kawhi was the top.
Was them putting
top 10
Kuzma
player,
on the
just like-
podium? Them saying like, "Hey, you're the one we're not going to trade."
Maybe. I think
be.
the thing with
Could be.
I think
Just thought about that right
Mind
now.
games.
I think the thing with at least you got to look at the Kawhi trade. Top 10 player, just like Anthony Davis. You got an all-star in DeMar DeRozan. You got Jakob Poeltl, and you got the 27th pick.
Yep. That's not crazy.
That's not much. Like you got
So
the
what,
all-star.
Zach, a young player in the 7th. If we're going similar, but like the 7th is way better than the 27th.
But that would be like Hutchinson. That's the comparison of Poeltl.
Yeah, it would be. It's a spot-on comparison, too.
I don't know.
That sounds like highway robbery somehow.
Yeah, because it's Anthony fucking Davis. And also, we didn't know what Kawhi was going to do, and Kawhi was not a for sure certain. Like, it feels like wherever Anthony Davis is going to get moved to, it feels like he's going to sign. It just feels like he doesn't want to play in New Orleans.
Yeah.
I mean,
I sort of am getting that feeling out of him.
I don't know. I don't know. I think that I'll put if I've put fake money because I'm not putting real money. God no. I'll say
Sean's like, I
all
lost
in,
so much
Sean.
already.
I'll say Lakers. For some reason, I don't like Rob Pelinka. Like, and what? No, fuck it. It's the Knicks because I was wrong last year about the Lakers, and I'll be wrong this year about the Knicks. I'll hedge my bets. So either I'm right about the AD stuff, or I'm right about the KD Kyrie stuff, and that way I'm either losing, I'm losing fake money, or I don't have to wear a Knicks jersey.
What a pussy bet.
Then in
Thanks.
that case, I'm going
Hedging my bets, baby.
In that case, I'm going wild card, bitches. It's the Clippers.
It's the
Clippers
Cavs.
going to get AD.
Atlanta Hawks.
I love
Home
it.
to Anthony Davis and Boogie Cousins reunion tour.
Jeez.
Young player. Malik Monk, the 12th pick.
The moist one.
Miles Bridges, Frank Kaminsky for Anthony Davis.
Michael Jordan would throw in 6 first-rounders.
Michael Kidd Gilchrist counts as 6 first rounders.